Hello guys, welcome back to another video in this React series. In this tutorial, as you can see here, we are going to build a real-time world clock in React. This clock displays the current time for different cities as you can see here, which includes Bangalore, New York and some other major cities. Let's jump into our code and see how we can create this one in React application. For this example, I have created a dedicated component for this one and I have added this one in our app.js file. Here I have mentioned the component name that's going to use in our component here. The first step in creating this one is to import the necessary libraries. Here we have imported the React library and then use state and use effect hooks which we are going to use for managing and updating the clock's state. Next step is add the functional component. Here I am going to name this functional component as world clock. Within this functional component, the first thing which we need to do here is to define the list of cities. For that one, we are going to create a object here. Here I have created an object by name cities which contains the cities with their time zones. So the name property contains the name of each cities and the time zone property contains that particular time zone of that city. Once this is done, the next step is let's create the state by name times. This state will hold the current time for each city which we have defined in our cities object. So here we have defined the state and a function for setting the state of this one and we have initialized that one to null initially. The next step is let's make use of use effect hook. Here I have added the use effect hook. This use effect hook is a part of React component that manages updating and displaying the current time for these multiple cities here. Here initially we have created a new times an empty object which is initiated to store and update the times of each city here. For this each city, we are going to calculate the local time by using the current time and that one we are storing in new times here. So this two local time string generates the local time in hour and minute format. So the finally calculated time is saved in new times under the city's name using this property that is city.name. So this loop will help us to do that one for all the cities which we have defined. After the loop, we have a function by name setTimes. So this function will help us to update the state with the new times which we get from this code. And in the next line of code, you can see we have defined a counter here. So for each second, this function that is update times will get called. So this function updates every second and when it completes, we are going to call the clear interval, which will clean up the function by clearing the interval which we have defined by using setInterval earlier. That's about the use effect hook. Next, let's add return statement for displaying each city's time and styles. Here I have added code for our return statement. Here the outer div is a container for entire component and we have given the style by name styles.container. So this component uses inline styles to provide through the styles object. So which we are going to define. Next we have added one header by using h2 and we have given one title as world clock and we are going to style that one using the title class which we are going to define. So this serves as the title of our clock display section. Next we have defined another div to contain the individual clocks for each city and we have defined the style or class for this one as by name clock container. Within this one we are going to make use of map and by using that one we are going through the cities which we have defined. So this map function iterates over each cities and create a blocks with the city name and time within this one. So that's complete our logic parts. Now let's add some styling to this one. Here I've added styles for our times cards and entire container. Here the styles which we have defined here, that is the object which defines the custom styles to keep our layout organized. And here the container class which we have defined here with different properties like display flags and the direction of that flags and how the item should be aligned within that flags and what should be the font family and color of the font and the background color, padding, border radius and other properties. This container style is applied to the outermost division which we have defined here. Similarly, we have defined different styles for each of the elements. So this style which is applied to the title element which we have defined in our JSX. And this clock container styles applies to the container which holding all the cities. Similarly, we added city card which is going to style our card which we have defined here. Similarly, we have applied some styles to city name and time. So these are the basic properties by using which we have styled our entire multiple cities application here. So once we are done with styling part, the final thing is to export this one. So once we export this one, then only it will get attached to our main component file, that is app.js file. Once we are done with export, let's save this one. As I already run this application, React will auto compiles. Let's go back to browser to preview this one. Now you can see we got the real time of each cities which we have defined in our list in the application. So that's it guys. There we have a modern live world clock for multiple cities as shown here. So that's it guys for this video. Thanks for watching this. If you have any questions or want to see more tutorials like this, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more coding tutorials.